Good evening, good evening, good evening. Jesse, welcome to the podcast of Action Require Media. Before we continue, please click like and click share. Please click like and click share. Hold on. I think the volume is good. Yeah, there's a grind on it. Let me check the bar. Okay, stop. You can hear it. Yeah, hold on, folks. We are trying to set up one or two technical issues. Hold on. Grinding. Check 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Yeah, let's change this chord real quick. Testing 1, 2. The other one should be in there. It's not a power cord, but a cable. Mic check 1, 2. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening, happy Sunday to you, depending on where you are watching us from. I go by the name of Jesse. Welcome to the podcast of Action Require Media, where we entertain, we empower, and we educate. We entertain, we empower, and we educate. I don't know if you've seen our topic up there on the screen. We will be talking about dual citizenship. We are also on YouTube. Please find us on YouTube. Type dual citizenship. Dual citizenship in parentheses. Put Liberia in there. Parentheses, put Liberia. We'll be talking about Liberia's dual citizenship. Once again, please click like, click share with your friends, family, because today's topic is very, very important and timely. So please, share the word out. We will be talking about our dual citizenship in Liberia. So please share it with somebody. All right. Once again, if you can hear me loud and clear, if you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me, please say something. Please just give me a thumbs up or heart sign. Please give me one of those. Please. I want to say thanks again for staying tuned to the podcast of Action Require Media. Today with me, I have in the studio very VIP. So please go on YouTube and find us. If you are on Facebook and you want to send somebody this information, one who do not have the Facebook page, you can find us on YouTube. Just type dual citizenship in the bracket Liberia. All right. So with me here in the studio is, of course, as always, Pastor Achiba Wallo. Pastor Wallo. Our discussion for today is different form. And also I have here with me Mr. Philip Clark. I believe Mr. Philip Clark will introduce himself in a short while. So meanwhile, please click like and click share. Share this podcast. This podcast. Now, when you are on YouTube, please hit the notification button and subscribe to our channel. That way, whenever we are on live, you will be notified. You'll be one of the first person to get our contents. So please, that's how we get our ratings. Click like and click share and hit the subscription button, that red button on YouTube. Just subscribe to our channel. And we are trying to get at least by the end of this year, if we can get up to 10,000 views on our content, we would like it. So please like our materials and share it with your friends and family as well, co-workers. Please do that. So today, our topic, dual citizenship, Liberia. It's a hot topic right now in Liberia. So please, we want to discuss it. Like I told you, this is Podcast of Action Required Media, where we entertain, we educate. So now this is the educational part of what we are going to be discussing today. All right? It's still within the confines of the Word of God, but we will be talking specifically about dual citizenship in Liberia. So if you are Liberian, this must be very catchy. This must be very important to you. Now I'll go to one panelist here, Pastor Archibald Wallow. How are you doing today? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Brother Jesse.
Thank you. It's good to see you as always.
Of course.
Welcome to our discussion. Of course, with me, again, is a very honorable man, Mr. Philip Clark. Mr. Philip Clark, how are you doing today?
Very well, Jesse. How you doing?
I'm always, as usual, blessed.
It's good to be here.
Good to see you. Good to see you. As the topic for today, dual citizenship in Liberia. Please, I know you're watching us. I see the numbers growing. Please share. If I can have at least 5 people, we will not start. So please share. Share, okay? I want to thank you also for staying tuned. We'll be talking about dual citizenship. What does dual citizenship means to you here in the diaspora? What do you want to see happen in Liberia? How can we, bring in our 2 cents, our input to affect any change in Liberia? But now we are talking about dual citizenship. And again, I would like to go to Pastor Archibald Wallow live so we can talk about this dual citizenship. Pastor Wallow, our topic for today is dual citizenship. I'm highly interested in what we will be discussing about. It's a teachable moment for me, myself. Pastor Wallow?
Yes, sir.
Dual citizenship.
Yeah, Brother Jesse, as you, rightly pointed out, that this topic is
highly sensitive,
one of the hottest in Liberia. But I think that is one of the topics also that diasporan Liberians should be able to, get interested in. But before we move forward, I am really, really pleased and happy to share today's stage with Deacon Clark. By the way, Deacon Clark is one of the prominent individual we have in our community. In fact, he has served the Liberians and the Liberian community in a triangle. Here as president for 2 terms, and he has been a very, very great leader. And so we are really, really happy to share, the platform with him, at least for every one of us to discuss this. Now, I want you to understand that dual citizenship is a very important topic. We are not able to talk about everything that we should talk about. But maybe if you send us some questions that you want us to address, we will be able to do that before we leave today. So we want to hear from you. Okay, we want to hear from you. And also, maybe some of you are thinking that, well, this platform you're supposed to be,
why not the regular preaching?
Regular teaching and whatever. Hey, but we still going to go into the Word of God, because I also want to give an example. Want you to follow, but we want to hear from you. So I'm looking forward to today's discussion.
So once again, please click like and click share. Please click like and click share. Clicking like give us the ratings. That's why I always say click like. So just like it, and then that gives us more ratings on Facebook. All right. So please always click like and share our content. Again, we will be talking about dual citizenship. If you are here in the diaspora, Canada, by the way, America, wherever you are, this topic must be very important and interesting to you. So I will ask that you please share this. Again, like the man of God just said, this hot topic right now in our native land, Liberia, dual citizenship. and I am highly interested in to see where this goes from here. Pastor Wallow, I'm in America. I find myself in America. I would not think that I would go to Liberia and somebody would see me as a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
What's the dual citizenship for the person who is watching for the very first time and don't even know what dual citizenship is about? What can we tell that person what dual citizenship is all about?
Before, okay, so let's begin with the kinds of citizenship or the type of citizenship.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that's the right place to begin.
Yeah.
And the reason I think we have to begin from there is because
give me a second. Once again, if you can hear me loud and clear, if you can't hear me loud and clear, give me a thumbs up, please. I want this podcast to reach you directly, especially from our audio side. From my point here in the studio, my audio is good. So if you good. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, so and the reason I want us to begin from the different kinds of citizenship is we should first be able to identify, what kind of citizenship Liberia has, and then we can build on that discussion.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have been misinformed or miseducated about the type of citizenship that we accept in Liberia.
Yeah.
So let me begin with this. For you to be a citizen of a country, there is only one natural way to do that.
Yeah.
And that one natural way is you have to be born in a country. You have to be born in a country. That is the natural way of being a citizen of a country.
Yeah.
So the first kind of citizenship we have is natural born citizens.
Natural born citizens.
Okay. When we say natural born citizens, it means that you were born
on
the soil of that country.
Yeah.
Okay. And then at times went by, this citizenship that we today get to know as naturalized citizenship or naturalization came about, right? I was making a little research on naturalization, citizenship by naturalization. That is the second one, actually.
Yeah.
It was first introduced by the United States Congress in 1790.
Naturalization.
Citizenship by naturalization.
Yeah.
Okay. What that means is, before that law was introduced in the United States Congress, there were nothing called naturalization.
Yeah, so just kind of,
okay. So naturalization or citizenship by naturalization is a legal process. Now, understand, to be a citizen of a country, the natural way of being a citizen of a country is for you to be born in that country.
Yeah.
And the legal process that was developed, into law by the United States Congress in 1790 is what we call today as the Naturalization Act, or the Citizenship by Naturalization. And I think a lot of countries have adopted that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the point I was making is that there was not always a citizenship by naturalization. Okay. It was an enactment of laws that created that citizenship.
Yeah.
So today we have the second citizenship called citizenship by naturalization. And then the third and final one we're going to be talking about today is citizenship by descent. Okay. Citizenship by descent is where the individual is eligible to claim citizenship for a particular country based on his parents or grandparents or great-grandparents are origin of that country.
Yeah.
So if your parents came from a particular country, or your grandparents came from a particular country, you can claim citizenship from that country.
Yeah.
When you claim citizenship from that country, That kind of citizenship is called citizenship by descent.
By descent.
Okay, so these are the three basic citizenship we have right now. Then the question now is, what kind of citizenship Liberia accepts? Okay, and so it will interest you to know that the natural way of being citizen, which is to be born in the country, Liberia don't accept that. You are not a citizen of Liberia by you being born in the country. I know this is going to shock a lot of people, but that's true.
Yeah, and you can do the research yourself.
Liberia accepts citizenship by descent. And Bro Jesse, I think that is interesting.
Very, very interesting.
You know, because honestly, you're supposed to be a citizen of a country when you are born in that country. Okay, but we as Liberians, what we do accept is not people being born in the country. It's that you have to be a descent of a Liberian parent for you to be a citizen of Liberia. Now, that put us at a very interesting position, because what we now have, the discussion we are now having in Liberia, are all about natural born citizens, okay, that are in the diaspora. Okay, but honestly, to put this conversation in a very in a position where people will really understand it, if you were born in the country, okay, and that is the difference between naturalized, born, and people that were born in the country rather, and people that were naturalized. Okay, you see, naturalization is a legal process. Okay, it's a legal process. It was not always a right. It became a right by legality. What that means is that you can lose it. Okay, you can lose your citizenship by naturalization, because citizenship by naturalization was conferred on you. Okay, that's why you have to take an oath.
So
it was exactly. It can be revoked. Now, let's take for example, right? If you were naturalized in a particular country, okay, and then because of that naturalization, your country of origin, which is Liberia, is saying that, well, since you were naturalized in this country, you are no longer a citizen of this country. What if that citizenship is revoked? What other country can you claim?
How can you exist?
How can you exist? Because it can be what cannot be taken away from you is your place of birth. But your place of birth, we as Liberians, even though we were born in Liberia, but we are not citizens of Liberia because we were born in the country. Because
legality to claim that place as your.
Well, you can't claim it because you were born there. You can claim it because of descent, because your parents are from there.
Wow.
And I think people need to understand it for them to really understand this discussion of dual citizenship. Okay, so these are the three major citizenship that we have. Okay, and honestly, the most natural one, we don't accept it.
Born there.
The more natural one, we don't accept it. So, before my other people come in, let me just move this conversation forward. But I just wanted people to first understand, these. The different types of citizenship, and which one we are really talking about in Liberia, because we are talking about dual citizenship. But what do we accept now? Yes, Edo. Before I move forward, before I forget this.
Go ahead.
We accept citizenship by naturalization. Also. Okay, and we don't accept citizenship by birth. But we accept citizenship by descent and citizenship by naturalization.
Okay. But not by birth.
but not by birth.
That's the intriguing part of it, because if you would talk to somebody and say, "Oh, I was born there," and still you do not own a right, even though you were born there.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you were born in Liberia, now let me make this clear. If you were born in Liberia by parents who are not Negro descent,
Yeah.
you are not a citizen. You are not a citizen.
It's clear. Man.
Like for example, if you were born in Liberia by two Lebanese,
Yeah.
you are not a Liberian.
Well, you're born on the soil.
But you are born on the soil.
Folks, there you go.
So in our constitution, it is there, right? You have to be of a Negro descent. That word Negro is a Spanish word which means black. So our citizenship is actually based on race. That's why a lot of people say it's a racist system.
Yeah, that's a racist. Yeah.
And you know, we have to understand our history and perhaps why, you know, the framers did it that way, because our forefathers were slaves, free slaves. You know, and maybe they were trying to protect themselves and their posterity from the aggression of the white man. So they didn't want a white man to be citizen of Liberia. You know, you can understand that. But time has changed.
Time has changed. Time has changed.
Time has changed. And Bro Jesse, I think that passion, right, that we had, or our forebears had in the past towards, you know, their slaves master. I think we are diverting that to Liberians at home and Liberians in the diaspora.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, where Liberians at home are seeing Liberians in the diaspora as slave masters. No. Whereas slave masters, like the way the framers used to see the white man, they saw the white man, they saw their slave master. That's how Liberians at home are looking at Liberians in the diaspora.
It's crazy.
You know, and that's why we are having this discussion, because they think that Liberians in the diaspora will go back home and take whatever it is that they have and
go and impose on the people.
And impose on them. Now, it is interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why we are having this kind of discussion. But that is what we have in our Constitution. Yeah. Okay? That is what we have in our Constitution.
By the way, folks, I just want to say thanks again for staying tuned to the podcast of Action Required Media, where we are talking about dual citizenship in Liberia. This particular topic must be very concerning to you. Please click like and click share. If you have your questions, please go into our comment section and drop your question momentarily. The phone lines will be open for you to give us a call and drop your comments, your knowledge. Again, welcome to the podcast and stage of Action Required Media. Mr. I will call you Dr. Clark for now. Please accept it from me. Mr. Clark, we are talking on the topic of dual citizenship.
Yes.
How do you see this topic, dual citizenship? And by the way, this topic is open right now in the Liberian Senate in Liberia. So if you can also visit your Constitution of Liberia and read what that dual citizenship is talking about, so you can also be, you know, educated on what it's talking about and help us too. We don't know it all here on this platform. We were able to do our research, you know, thank God for Pastor Wallow and Mr. Clark here. So please do your research as well and help us. All right, Mr. Clark.
Yeah, Pastor Wallow touched on a lot of the points, but I would try to sort of elaborate a little bit. I just a sidekick in order to kind of explain my idea and my thoughts of the dual citizenship in Liberia, why it is not needed. Well, I mean, on a superficial level, the dual citizenship situation is a very touchy situation. The constitution, the current constitution of Liberia does not allow Liberians that are overseas who become citizens of other countries to become citizens of Liberia. Case in point, a young man by the name of T. Jallo sued the government for that purpose, because he was born in Bopodo, which is Liberia. He has Liberian parents, and he applied for a passport at the Liberian embassy in Washington, D.C., and he was denied. Well, he took them to court. And to make long matter short, because we don't have that time to go into details of what happened, but at the conclusion of that case, the Supreme Court ruled in his favor by stating that as a Liberian, as the law it is written according to the Constitution, because Article 22.1 says that citizenship cannot be denied any Liberian that applies for it. But then it is contradicted in Article 22.2 that you can, you can't be the nationalization, you can't be a citizen. So what the conclusion the Supreme Court came to is, with that being said, it is explicitly said that you can become a citizen. But what it states, the conclusion they came to was, okay, from 22.2, the conclusion is, if you are a Liberian and you are a citizen of another country, but you are a Liberian and you want to go home, well, and you tell the people you need a passport or you need something, the court has to prove, or the government has to prove that you are a citizen of that foreign country. If they can't prove that, you automatically become a citizen of Liberia. Then you can naturalize. That's the judgment the court came to. We're talking about like Pastor said about citizenship by descent. Citizenship by descent means that one of the parent of the individual has to be a Liberian. So if my mother is a Liberian and I was born in Liberia and born a child, that child is a citizen. That's citizen by descent.
Because of that mother.
Because of the mother. Because one parent has to be a citizen. But if none of your parents are citizens,
even though you are born there.
Even though you are born there, but if you are black, that's a catch. If you are black, you can be. They can apply to be for you to be a naturalized citizen. Then you are a citizen. But if you are white, you cannot become a citizen of Liberia. Even though you're born in the country. So that the pastor explained, this had to do with the 1800s. And I think the reason for that, because the time is past for that now, but I think the reason for that was during the 1800s. South Africa, all these different countries, like most especially South Africa, were being ruled by the white people. And there were racism in South Africa. So because of those things that were going on, they decided to put our protection into the Constitution so that no Westerner could come and become citizen and enslave the Liberian people. That's my idea. That's what we're thinking. But it has passed. I mean, the time has passed now. So we in America, you're fighting for how you got a diversity and being citizen of this place. I don't think it is to our advantage to just do an amendment to the Constitution, take away that clause of Negro descent or only being a Negro be citizen of Liberia, and everybody can be a citizen of Liberia. So we can have some improvement in our country.
Let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let me say. Let me just add to what Deacon Clyde is saying. So, when you look at the Constitution, just that phrase alone, right, Brother Jesse? That phrase alone, that you have to be a Negro descent. And as Liberians travel the world, we now begin to see how, disadvantage that is
That is very much.
for our country.
Yeah.
I mean, just think, we are in the 21st century,
Yeah.
right? Our entire naturalization act, okay, or immigration stuff, or to be a citizen of Liberia, is dependent on race.
That's bad.
And I think the children of God will agree with me that there is no one particular race in the Bible.
No.
So what the Constitution is provided for people to be a citizen of the country,
Yeah.
it does not represent us as a people.
Yeah.
Maybe at that time it served our forebearers right, but right now it is not. Let's give an example for the United States,
Yeah.
right? Let's give an example. Now, if well, let me use Liberia. Let me not use America,
Yeah.
right? Let me use Liberia. If you from Liberia, two Liberians came to the United States and born children here in the United States, are those children citizens of Liberia?
No.
They should be citizens of Liberia.
Yeah, they should be.
But by the reason of them born here,
Yeah.
they are also what? Citizens of this country.
Of America, yeah.
Okay. Are they not dual citizens?
No, they are not.
Okay. They are citizens of Liberia and they are citizens of the United States. Is that not dual citizenship?
That's what it is.
But you know what? The children that are born here will be denied.
In Liberia.
In Liberia. They will be denied citizenship in Liberia. Okay. Let me move the conversation further and then we can say something.
Yeah.
Now, the discussion now, first, let me just talk about this, the referendum, okay,
Yeah.
that was on the ballot, the gun election.
Yeah.
What is referendum all about? Now, I really don't understand what we Liberians in the diaspora really want. Because, let me just explain a little bit. The referendum says, which of course President Weah support,
Yeah.
okay, and a lot of the senators at the time, including Darius, didn't support it. It says that we should accept dual citizenship with restrictions. What that means is that if you are a born Liberian and you took on citizenship in another country, you can hold the two citizenships. But when you go back to Liberia, there are certain positions you cannot hold.
See, there's limitations. As to
Yeah.
what you can do.
Yes.
Limitation.
Now let me just read some of the positions you can hold. You can be the Chief Justice. You can be Associate Justice. You can be a Cabinet Minister. You can be a Deputy Minister. You can.
A director.
Yeah, you can be a director, okay? You can head an agency. Now, all of these restrictions, where are these things coming from? Now, you were born in the country, okay? Even people that are naturalized in Liberia can hold all of these positions. They are not restricted from holding this position.
Yeah.
You who were born in the country,
Yeah. Cannot hold it.
they are restricting you from holding these positions. And then Liberians in the diaspora are supporting it. This book us out.
It's crazy. And that leads me to a comment. By the way, when you finish.
Yeah. Liberians in the diaspora are saying that Liberians should vote for this kind of stuff.
It's craziness.
For this stuff.
It's craziness.
How can you tell me I was born in Grand Crook County, Southtown,
Yeah.
that because I came to the United States and took a United States citizenship,
Yeah.
I now go back home, I am not a Liberian.
It's sad. It's sad.
How can you say that? And you are not saying that about people
From
that were
Nigeria.
naturalized.
Yeah. Not from there, just called a naturalization and
A process, a legal process that can be revoked.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gave them more right than the people that were born in the country. How are we thinking? What is the thought? The people, I think our people in Liberia, they are being misinformed. Because Liberia's problem is not Liberians in the diaspora. In fact, a lot of Liberians came in the diaspora because of the problem in Liberia in the first place.
Yeah, that's why I was going to go to, but
And Liberians in the diaspora are great help to Liberians
to
at
that problem,
home.
to that problem, yeah.
So if you are denying Liberians in the diaspora all of these things, what you want their contribution to be to their country?
It's limited. I mean, you limit my activity on the ground, so I will limit my activity even overseas.
Yeah.
What you want Liberians in the diaspora contribution to be in their own country?
Not much.
How you want Liberians in the diaspora to respond to that kind of stuff?
Yeah. And the follow-
Now it was just recently. Senator Darius Didon resubmitted a
The bill.
reverse version of this nonsense. Now he is putting forward now a bill that says when you are born in Liberia, you should never lose that citizenship. I think that is smart because that exact. Can I read something from the Word of God?
Go ahead.
Can we? Okay. Acts chapter 22. Just quickly, Acts chapter 22. And I want to use this Acts as an example for what we are talking about. I want to read Acts 22, verse 25. Let me just come in reading from verse 23. Now, this is Paul. Okay, I want to use the story of Paul as an example. Okay. As they were shouting and throwing off their cloaks and flinging dust into the air, the commander ordered that Paul be taken into the barracks. He directed that he be flogged and interrogated in order to find out why the people were shouting at him like this. 25. As they stretched him out to flog him, Paul said to the centurion standing there, "Is it legal for you to flog a Roman citizen who hasn't been found guilty?" When the centurion heard this, he went to the commander and reported it. "What are you going to do?" he asked. "This man is a Roman citizen."
Yeah.
The commander went to Paul and asked, "Tell me, are you a Roman citizen?" "Yes, I am," Paul answered. Now listen to what the Roman commander said. Then the commander said, "I had to pay a lot of money for my citizenship. But I was born a citizen," Paul responded. So here you see two kinds of citizenship, right, just right in this text.
Yeah.
The one who were born a citizen, and the one that have to pay for a citizenship, which is naturalized citizen, right? Now, well, Paul was a Roman citizen.
Yeah.
Okay, but do you also know that Paul was a citizen of the Jews?
Yeah.
Paul was a Jew.
Yeah.
I don't want people to argue with that. So let's just read that real quickly, and then I'm just going to make my point. Philippians chapter 3.
Yeah.
Philippians chapter 3, verse 5. Now, let me just start reading from verse 4. Though I myself have reasons for such confidence, if someone else thinks they have reasons to put confidence in the flesh, I have more reason. Paul is saying, he's speaking, right? Then he said, I was circumcised on the 8th day. Now he is now counting why he is an Israeli or he is a Jew.
Yeah.
Right? Now he is saying the things that the Jewish people would do.
Yeah.
They circumcised
Practice.
on the 8th day. He said, I was circumcised on the 8th day, and I am of the people of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of the Hebrews.
Yeah.
In regard to the law, a Pharisee. As for zeal, prosecuting the church. As for righteousness, based on the law, faultless. Now he is saying, I'm also from Israel.
Yeah.
I'm a Roman citizen. I'm also from Israel. How do you call that? Dual citizenship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dual citizenship. So, Paul himself understood that, but that he used it to his advantage.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was born. He was born in a Roman colony
Yeah.
called Texas. That's where he was born. And by the virtue of him born in a colony, he became a Roman citizen
By birth.
by birth.
Yeah.
And so you hear where he says, how can you flog me if you have not given me a due process?
Yeah.
It's not lawful.
It's not-
So he
not
is
legal.
he is speaking as a citizen who understands his right. People are trying to take your citizenship away from you.
Yeah.
They are saying that you have to be restricted from your own country. And then you are supporting exactly what they are saying. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Because the only citizenship that cannot be taken from you is the one you never paid for, is the one you never bought. If you are a citizen in the United States by naturalization, have you not heard they are deported Liberians?
Yeah. Yes.
Liberians that were citizens here,
Yeah.
they were deported.
Yeah.
What that means is they took away your citizenship.
They were revoked.
You can lose it. The only one you cannot lose is the place you were born.
Birth. It's your legal land of birth.
And that's exactly what they're trying to take away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can step in a little bit here, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
You know, one of the important things that our people forget is that we come into this country or we leave, people go to different places of the world. They forget there was a war in our country, that people had to flee
Yeah.
for their lives. They forget that there are inadequate institutions. People have to improve their lives.
Yes, yeah.
So they think that the legislatures and government of Liberia and people of Liberia need to understand, instead of miseducating our people and letting them know that dual citizenship is a bad thing for the country. They forget we left the country because of economic reasons. If you go into a country, a strange country, if you don't become a citizen, you can't use the immunities.
You cannot.
They have systems in place.
You cannot.
There's no way you can do that. You have, in order to better yourself and support the people that are against you home, that we send millions of dollars to them every year to keep the economy up, because the economy by itself can't stand.
Yeah.
And they forget that the resources that we're sending back to them is what keeping them up. And then when we decide to go home
Be limited.
and help rebuild the country and help with whatever thing we can do, they look at you at somebody from outer space. That's a crab mentality.
Yeah. It's a crap.
So we didn't leave Liberia because we wanted to leave. When I was growing up, I never wanted to go anywhere because I love it. But economic, educational opportunities,
Give me away.
social mobilities, and all of these things are all reasons why people leave
Yeah.
to better themselves and come back to you and bring you new ideas on how to do things. But we miss that. How can we adapt? I mean, look at our neighboring country. Look at Ghana.
Yeah.
Look at Ghana today. Look at Ivory Coast. Look at these people. We got independent 1847 and still we can't even got a car road to drive straight on. Does that make sense? What stopped us, my people? We're trying to come to help. That's all.
So we're trying to do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just before I open the conversations for questions, you just heard that passionate cry from that Mr. Philip Clark. We talk with so much passion on this issue. We have a studio guest who will be asking a question. But right before then, folks, I want to welcome you again once again to the podcast of Action Required Media. You've seen the topic, dual citizenship of Liberia. Liberia is what we are talking about. Now, if you are in the diaspora and still haven't gotten the grasp of what we are talking about, this is what it is. This dual citizenship thing that we are talking about, that will affect you or that is affecting you, it's going to affect you one way or the other. Should you decide to want to go to Liberia, what this is telling you, you being a citizen in this country that you are supporting, when you decide to go to Liberia, you are a second class Liberian. Now, Mr. Clark, Mr. Wallow, a man who was born in Nuclear Town up until he was 35, by the way of the Civil War, happens to get some opportunity to leave Liberia, come to the United States or Canada, anywhere, to better himself. Now, he did not call for that Civil War. He didn't even participate in the Civil War. But we all had to, like you said, leave, go better yourself somewhere for the benefit of that country. Now, this man is going to go back only to be seen as a second class who is limited. Now, he was there throughout up until he was 35. But now going back with all kind of restriction and limitation. And that is why some of us are supporting as diaspora Liberians. I want you to go back, look at the Constitution and see where you fit in. And rethink, is this what we are supposed to be supporting? I do not get it. But let me take a question from Mr.
Not a
Joseph.
question, I just want to comment on it. And I think this is a very interesting topic for people to talk about.
Yeah.
And when I look at it, the Liberia dual citizenship process, and whenever you ask somebody in Liberia, we that in the diaspora now,
Yeah.
if you call somebody in Liberia and say, oh, brother, man, what's going on in Liberia? The first thing they're going to give you cheek. Most of them be like, okay, sometimes, let's say for example, that type of dual citizenship, the naivete and the preconceived notion that have been set up with the youth that have been, that we always, foster. Mm-hmm. They would say, you weren't here during the 1990 war, you're now a patriot Liberian, you ran away. You want to exile. You're not Liberian, you're not a true Liberian. Because you didn't stay during the war, you didn't stay to see us suffer. Now, you want to come back and rule us. That's the perception most of them have.
Yeah.
And that's how they follow. And it's a blind man leading a blind man, a blind sheep running by the blind sheep.
Yeah.
Now, when I look at the whole process, we look at, like Deacon Clark just mentioned, the economy in Liberia cannot survive without the diaspora support.
No way.
You can do whatever you want to do or not. Turn it in and out. They will not survive it. And if we really want to make a change at the diaspora, Liberians, we can organize ourselves and say, look, if we together as a body, let request that the Liberian government make an amendment or change to the constitution about dual citizenship like this. All Liberians in the diaspora, I thought some of the Liberia for a month or two. And let's see what happens. Liberia economy will collapse. Now, that preconceived notion is going on. Now, those people working as ministers and lawyers and representatives in Liberia, job insecurity. Now, they're thinking that you're coming from the Western world. Yeah. You are more educated and advanced than they are. You're going to take their jobs because you're educated to get the advancement. That's how they're looking at it. Mm-hmm. Now, if you think you're educated and you're naive like that, what's going to happen? Now, on the other hand, let's reverse it now. I'm a Liberian. And let's for example, we spend most of our times in America here working and running around. Went to colleges and then got student loans about $67,000 to $100,000 student loan. Now you decide to leave from here based on your education to run as a representative in Liberia. Now what you're gonna do? You're gonna implement some policies in America. Say, look, a representative in America gets paid this X amount of money. He gets the incentive based on this. That's what we're gonna put forward. Okay. Now, but you're not comparing the living standard of America to Liberia. It's a big gap. You don't need that much money in Liberia as a senator or representative. Then why the poor people are suffering.
Yeah.
Now, those marketeers and street boys who voted you in office, for the 3 months of campaign, you give them t-shirt and bag of rice to eat for a couple of days. And you ripping the country off for 6 years. You send your money in exiles in foreign banks. Your children all over around the world going to better schools. But the country you say you are patriotic, you say you love, that you're representing, you can't even build a peace. I don't want to start describing it because I'm already gonna get angry.
Yeah.
And do the best you can.
And
How we gonna change that mindset?
yeah, to be, I think you said something very important. That is the flip side of what people's perception and is in Liberia concerning Liberians in the diaspora.
Yeah.
But something else you said about Liberians in the diaspora supporting Liberians at home. Last year, the Central Bank of Liberia reported $40 million that Liberians in the diaspora sent to Liberia.
Just 1 year.
1 year. And guess what? In the heat of the pandemic.
Imagine that.
Nathaniel Barnes, said something in his book. And I'm going to paraphrase this. He said that, denying Liberians in the diaspora to go back home, Liberia would be missing a huge opportunity because the middle class of Liberia are the Liberians in the diaspora.
Yeah.
Not every Liberian wants to go home to run for a political office. Yeah. There are so many Liberians that are starting businesses. Yeah. There are so many Liberians that are doing very fabulous things in Liberia. Yeah. Okay. Look, I don't care what people say. The best of Liberia is out of Liberia. We have to encourage Liberians to go back home. There are Liberians doctors in the diaspora.
Yeah.
There are Liberian scientists in the diaspora. There are Liberian psychologists in the diaspora. There are Liberian teachers in the diaspora. We have Liberians that can make a lot of difference. So you saying, or we putting a system in place that will limit these Liberians, you are putting the country as a disadvantage. Because listen, regardless of everything that goes on in Liberia, with all of our struggles, with everything we disagree with, one thing Liberians are passionate about is their country.
Yeah.
Liberians want their country to be better.
That's true.
I agree.
They may say it in different ways. They may react to news differently. But we all want our country to be better because we want to go back home. There are a lot of people that want to go back home. And so this is a process that we have to rethink. The dual citizenship process is a process that we have to rethink. But if anybody think that that's going to serve Liberia right by denying or taking citizenship away from Liberians that were born in Liberia, if anybody think that that's going to serve Liberia right,
Rethink.
then you are either lying to yourself or you just as ignorant as anyone else.
That's detrimental.
Then you just don't know.
Yeah.
Because it is not to the advantage of Liberia for you to deny Liberians what rightfully belongs to them. You know, the scripture says that God is not unjust to forget our works. God sees the works that Liberians in the diaspora are making. He sees our efforts. You know, Liberians leave Liberia, they come, you know, they go into different countries. They don't forget back home. If you don't have interest in Liberia, why will you build a house in Liberia? If you don't have interest in Liberia, why will you send money to family back home? If that's not what the scripture says, what your heart is where your treasure is. We send our treasures in Liberia. And you see, we don't care about the country. $40 million. Liberians sent to Liberia in the midst of pandemic.
And
You know,
go ahead.
the follow-up, Darius DeLong, I listened to him, and they reversed amendment he's trying to put forth, how you call it?
Bill.
Yeah, put
What's
forward.
it? Yeah. It is a good bill, because I think he's a young man that he sees the future. And he knows that the future of Liberia, progress, is in the hands of those that are in the diaspora. Not only the United States, England, all over the world. You understand? People, Joseph, you mentioned people talking about Liberians leaving because of the war. Well, you are fighting a war that is very, very senseless. You fought a war of greed, tribalism, and cronyism. Cronyism. If you're fighting a war like this with no sense, you don't know what you're fighting for, no idea.
What should I be doing?
Why people should stay there to fight? Fight for who? It's not like Guinea coming to us to fight war and then I leave the country and jump ship. You're fighting a war of greed. So people who are better sense not going to stay. They're going to leave. Even you ain't got sense, you still going to leave. We have a fabulous, a rich, and fantastic country. We got everything that is needed for a country to have. We have resources like water. We got land that you don't need fertilizer to plant any kind of crops. You got diamonds. You got minerals. Why are we still poor if we got all this stuff? Liberia is rich. It's blessed. There's no drought in Liberia. You got water all over the place. You know, like people in Sudan running for water. You got fertile soil that you don't even need fertilizer, artificial stuff to plant stuff. And you still can't see that. And then you sit over there, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your wives, your family, they leave home because of necessity to either go to school to better themselves. And you refuse to pass a law just to say, scratch the piece of paper and say, my children, you can't help us.
Yes.
Because you want to be selfish. You want to be mean.
Remain in power.
And stay in power so nobody can check you what it is you're doing for the country. This is not directed to the president, it's directed to everybody that works in the government. From the time I was growing up, because we never set a foundation. The foundation of good governance was never set from the very beginning of this country. That's why we stay in limbo. They never set a foundation. Government officials were building houses that the government renting from them when we were growing up.
Individuals,
They build their own homes and then they put government school in there. That's where the corruption started from. Not today. It's stuff that brew. It grows.
Yeah.
And now we take it to be a way of life. So you won't allow people from here to go to try to change your mind.
Yeah.
We got a mind problem.
You know one thing, I don't know how we can affect the process. How can we change this process in Liberia right now, so that Liberian government can understand that the Liberian people mean business. And I would say this to say that the youth in Liberia are not putting pressure on the government. I'm not saying put negative pressure on the government, but mount pressure on the government that this country belongs to us, and we are the one that are going to inherit the mess you're going to leave for us. Okay? So now, they are not taking the steps. All they do is call their friends and brothers in America. Hey, bro, man, can send me $50, man. I got to do this. I need food to eat and this, that. But you telling me to send you $50, but you're not telling your government to create avenue, to create jobs for you. But you're on the street supporting the same ideas that the politicians are feeding you.
But Joseph, I ain't even cutting you off, just to put it forward, right? You send them $50. Did they tell you how long, how much time they stay in line just to collect $50 from the
I
bank?
know.
They don't want to know. They just want to get the money. That's all.
3-4 hours
Yeah.
just to get, because there's, come on.
And the good at sometimes they don't even get it.
They don't even get, they tell you the bank ran out of money.
Yeah, we ran out.
The bank ran out of money? What, you kidding me?
But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, if
How
you
can
don't
we
follow,
change the process?
If
How
you
can
don't
we make
follow-
a change?
The mindset.
What mindset? Where can we start from?
Yeah.
I don't think for the diaspora.
I think that's a very important question.
But I'll get
right?
back to you. Yeah, hold on. If you are watching, I want to say thanks again for staying tuned to the podcast of Action Required Media. You've been following, you can see what's happening here in the studio. We are passionately talking about dual citizenship in Liberia. I want to use this platform and this time to give kudos to Darius Dillon. And I think Darius Dillon needs our support in terms of his bill that he's put forth so far that will affect all of us as diaspora Liberian. Pastor, what are you about to make a comment?
Yeah.
By the way, in 2 minutes the phone lines will be open for you to call us with your questions or go into our comment section and just drop your comments and we will read it out loud. But please give us a call. We need your input. Pastor.
I think Brother Joe asked a very important question. But before I say something about our question, let me, also say this.
Yeah.
I might be naive to this, yeah, but I have not seen, a country that has interest in developing itself to be at the forefront of rejecting or denying its own citizens that can help.
That's Liberia.
We are experts, they ain't gonna pay us.
Well, they go.
That's Liberia.
Look, just look at the developed countries.
Yeah.
They are trying to increase their population.
Yeah.
There is advantage. There is an advantage.
Yeah.
In increasing your population. We as Liberians are saying we don't want the experts. We don't want the educated. We don't want your stay down there.
That's what it's saying. That's what it is. Exactly what that cry is.
I have not seen a country that does that. But again, as the people always say, this too is Liberia.
That's Liberia. That's Liberia.
I don't understand it.
That's Liberia for you.
I don't understand it. So, the question that Bro Joe asked, I think it's a very important, it's a legitimate question.
Very legit question.
But let me tell you something. Okay, a lot of people might have different things to say about how the country can change. But I tell you the truth, right? I tell you the truth. For a country to move forward, for a country to be developed, for a country to be what it needs to be, it has to have the right government. And for a country to have the right government, that government has to have the right people in it.
It's not the right people. The right people got to put the right people where the right place.
Listen, there is not one individual that can change a country.
No.
It takes national government to bring about national change. And if when you don't have that, that will be a struggle. And I tell you the truth, Liberians, we are trying. We have not been to so many elections. It just recently our elections have been, but we have not been to so many elections. We are trying. We will get there. But I tell you the truth, national government bring national development. Before I pause a little bit, Joe, let me just say this.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, let me say this. Look at the last 3 presidents we have had in Liberia. Where they came from?
From America?
From the diaspora.
Yeah.
They came from the diaspora.
Charles Taylor, the Ellen.
The Charles Taylor, the Ellen, even president we are.
Yeah.
What are we talking
What
about?
are we talking about? That's a good point you just brought up.
No, what are we talking about?
And not to cut you off, this sitting president is supporting this dual citizenship thing that we are talking
Well,
about.
what he supports is the one that placed a restriction on Liberians in the diaspora.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, and that's what we reject. And that's what I want every Liberian to reject and ditch. In fact, the thing failed already in that proposition failed. That referendum fails already. You need to support it when Darius Dillon is putting forward.
Yeah.
Every senator, Darius Dillon is supposed to talk to you much. You're supposed to get on board.
Yes.
Get on board.
Unless you don't have interest in your country's development. Okay, but you should get on board. How can you restrict Liberians born in your country? Their birthright. Because you occupy a little seat. You think you're going to remain there forever?
No way. Joe, why you can't?
You better get on board with that.
But why you just said something that we Liberians, you look at America. Why is America the greatest country in the world? If you just think about it, because America has opened that doorway to allow everybody from all race, ethnic, to come in, get your legal status, and affect the country that you can. Now we Liberians, we claim to be Americans. we are America's stepchild, and the development that is coming directly from America to you, we are, let me just say, rejecting it. If Liberia must be developed and move forward, education, because my brother out there talk about the youth, I think education plays a big role. They will show us this kind of sentiment, this kind of rejection, because look at the percentage of them that are not educated. Most of them, if you talk about the Constitution of Liberia, they've not even read it. They don't even know how it looks like. So obviously, education plays a big role.
Yeah,
so they don't know.
It gotta be the right education.
Yeah, the right education. They don't.
People gotta
know.
be educated right.
Right. So that's where expertise that are coming from. And you touch a point. Half of our Senate, even some of the sitting senators, are all people right now, including the president, that holds 2 citizenship.
Yeah.
Right now, and I want anybody to challenge that. So why try to deprive others? But let me go to Mr. Clark and then we'll come back to you.
I just want to ask you a question, sir.
Yeah.
The problem is, first of all, I admire Darius Dillon, City, and I hope that people can support him on the dual citizenship thing. I think it should just be a law that all Liberians come home and you don't need a dual citizen thing. That's but it has to go on paper. The Constitution has to be amended. So I mean, that makes sense. The other thing that I think he should include into his bill that he's putting for is election eligibility. That people in diaspora, if that referendum can pass, if that reported forward, if it can pass, then it will give us some of the people chance, or some of the people here chance, because some of us are expecting to go home And those that will be here, giving them the opportunity to be able to vote from here. Because dual citizenship will allow that. And that will help us to kind of, look at candidates that are running instead of choosing presidents on personalities. We can choose them on the issues.
Yeah.
Can I say something
You know?
on that?
Yeah.
I really thought about what you just said.
So we can do that.
And to be honest with you, when Liberia hear this, one was like, oh, you see, the people, you didn't even get a citizenship, yo, they won't start voting already. Yes, we want to vote.
Of course, that's the
Liberians in the diaspora should vote.
Why are we contributing?
Liberians in the
economically
diaspora should vote.
It is all right.
We should vote. Liberians everywhere, every part of the world.
must be able to
This
vote.
is the 21st century.
Yeah.
But now we should be able to develop our democracy in a way that
We can have
no
a voting
Liberian
system.
is left out. Every Liberian should be given the opportunity to vote. What we are seeing is a Liberian are supposed to be in Liberia before they are eligible to vote. They can be in the diaspora and vote. And that would be the next one. It has to happen.
Well,
Honestly.
when we become dual citizens, it has to happen.
No, but you know what? They want you to go to Liberia, register before you can vote.
Oh, no, it ain't going to happen.
I don't know we're gonna have to technology to do that, but we'll see.
No. We will put that in the national budget.
Okay.
Technology.
What are you talking about?
All right, let's hold off. Let's hold off here in this video. We are very passionate.
Can I ask a question?
With time, we have. Let me open the lines now for you to call. The number to call is 919-949-5191. 919-949-5191 or 919-949-7131. Please give us a call now and ask your question or drop your knowledge. Brother Joseph.
You see, one thing we should really understand too, right? Security, physiological needs, and when the things are not met by an individual, he is desperate to do anything.
Yeah.
If a man cannot eat, he will make wrong decisions just to get food to eat. And I think these are some of the things that are harming the youth today in Liberia. Okay, I'll just say some of it. But now, my question to everyone here and those that are listening, right? I think I wrote that in my hand. What would be an ideal ways of reforming or reshaping the minds of Liberians, especially in Liberia as a whole, to understand that their own duties, their own responsibility to the country, based on development and other stuff like that? How can we find a way to reform our mindset of being the preconceived notions of doing stuff, or just having that kind of a naivety way of doing things? I don't think education is a problem in Liberia. If education is a problem in Liberia, then the entire government shouldn't be there because they're not educated. I would say that way. Because these are educated men who use vocabularies because they learn vocabularies. And all Liberians want to hear when you hear vocabularies, whoo, I meant no book. But what are you implementing? To stand on the microphone and use big words? That's it. I mean, what the Liberians are doing, what the young people are doing in Liberia. And this is what I think I told one of my professors. He taught me in Ghana and he went to Liberia. He was with El Jose Salif, and he was a speechwriter for El Jose Salif.
Okay.
Now, guess what he had right now? He's sitting right in Delaware. And I asked him, I said, you guys rip the country off. You take the country for us. You enjoy it. And you guys going to be there 70, 80, and 90s while we're in the 50 and 60. We don't even know what's going on. The country is doomed. But like I said, I don't know. The discussion here, how can we reform the minds of Liberians in a better way, in a better path, so we can think forward and look at other countries and compare ourselves to other countries? Even though, one time I was doing a research, and when countries were developing in the 1800s and 1900s, That was a pre-development when people advancing industrialization was going on. Slavery was the one harming Africa the most. People were not inventing, were not making stuff, were being mentally slave and physically slave. So we're not putting our creativity to work, okay, as people. It affected us. But that shouldn't hold us back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we are educated, doctors, PhD holders, philosophers, and this, that. Now, what the change you gonna make? We just know the book for nothing? Passing around like a pirate and reciting the book? That's what we're gonna do?
Just,
How
can I
can we
say
reshape
something else?
ourselves?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, look, Joseph, you touched on some touchy issue, and those are stuff. These are the things that I think about all the time. Education of our people. The education, currently, we have a generation of children, of youth, from say, 12 years old all the way to about 25, 30. Illiterate. From the years of war up to this present. Even if we say things are normal. We have had what? We have one government that was there for 12 years. And then there's another government coming. That'll be another 24 years. The kid that was born for those time will be 24 years old. He hasn't gone to school yet. Can't even read.
Yeah.
So that they need to pass the dual citizenship and make it as effective as quickly as possible. Because in this country, they got free teachers that want to go teach these people. People will volunteer to go if they make it conducive for us. There are people that are already going. There are people that are Dabe, Lower Dabe and Matter Dabe.
Yeah.
And their group that is trying to build a diagnostic center in Liberia. From his own money, from collection and different things. These are dedicated Liberians. You can't make it easy for them to come.
All from the diaspora.
Look, let me tell you how messed up that country is. This man went to the JFK hospital.
Yeah.
They got a diagnosis center. They got a whole wing that nobody using. It's empty. The man wanted to set up the diagnostic center from there before he started building the main place in Fender near the University Hospital to train students. You know, they refused to get a man a wing and nobody using it. There's nothing there.
Still empty.
Huge space, over 1,000
Square feet.
4,000 square. They got it there, nothing. Nobody's there. They refused to give it to him. And the space is there. That's how messed up we are. This is somebody that coming and bringing resources to your country. You know what a diagnostic center would do for Liberians? These are the things we're fighting. So until somebody smell the coffee and understand that we're not coming to Liberia to take their jobs, we're coming there to bring our own jobs.
Yeah.
What's the job that you going to take?
And afford employment to local.
Yeah, some of us looking for a job because we want to help them. That's what we want to do. I can work for them for 2 years free. Get them my labor free. They don't have to pay me no money. But nobody wants to do that.
Yeah. With that said,
So we got people, hundreds of people that want to do those things.
Yeah.
And they're not giving the opportunity. We make it difficult for our own people.
Yeah.
Even if you want to do it free for them, they still don't want it. So education, we got a bunch of children that are uneducated. By the time this president term expires and he get re-elected at 24 years gone, you know how other people be no schools.
with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we've passed the hour 20 minutes mark time. And that's to show you how passionate this topic is. Very sensitive.
So we need a dual citizenship.
With that said, I'm going to say big thank you for staying tuned.
Sorry
but
about
but
that.
I would like to just pass this time to Pastor Wallow, not Pastor Wallow. I don't know if Brother Joseph has anything to say, but we are going to close this
Yeah, Pastor
session
Wallow,
for
use the
today.
name.
We will give maybe 1 or 2 minutes for last words, and you just want to speak directly to the people of diaspora.
Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute at least. Just speak to the people of the diaspora, what to support and what you want to see, what change you want to be affected in Liberia. So, Brother Joseph, I know you are behind the camera right now, but I want you to use your voice because you have a voice. I want you to use your voice and talk to your diasporan Liberian. What support you want them to give to see that this dual citizenship thing is affected, is changed.
I think it is imperative that all Liberians be a part of Liberia's development and be it in or out of Liberia. It is our responsibility to build this country.
Yeah.
Even though the little we're doing here by sending funds to our relatives and friends in Liberia is doing good because we're meeting their physiological needs and building security for them. We may not do much, but it's helping collectively. And I will speak directly to the Liberians in Liberia.
Okay.
We need to start thinking primitively. Let's focus on issues. Let's reshape our minds. Let's compare and contrast. Let's be able to foresee the future of Liberia being as a developed nation than being one of a beggar. I appeal to the youth in Liberia and I appeal to the better nature of everyone, down to the politicians themselves. Let us see this country as a gift and a gift from God, and as a blessed nation, rich in natural resources that we have to our bank account. I just appeal to them. We can do the best thing. Fighting is not it. Revolution is not it. But they use the pen and paper. They use the voting booth. They use our voices. They gather. They sit under the Palava hut and discuss issues. Not discuss, not fight against each other, tribal wars and things like that. But they develop the love and sit under the Palava hut and discuss issues and move forward. And put the platform. Let hold our elected officers accountable. Every time, every month, every time we have a problem, call on them. Please, Liberians. That's all I can say.
And that was the voice of Brother Joseph Brown, the cameraman, the man behind the scene. Mr. Clark.
Yes, sir.
If you look directly in the camera and just talk to your diaspora Liberian colleague on what change, what effect you want to see them have.
My appeal to all of our people here in the United States and all over the world, we don't hate our country, we don't hate our government, we just don't like the way they do things. So my appeal to all of you is, those of you, because my son just came back and he told me he's not going back from what he saw, he's discouraged. I appeal to you not to be discouraged. Nothing lasts forever. Everything has time.
Expiration date.
We all need to put ourselves together, forget about all the naysaying. Let's see what each of us can do, each one of us can do to develop our country. If you can go in and build whatever you used to doing, and build a hut that you want kids to come in, fine. We need to re-educate our people. We are not the enemies, people in Liberia. We are not the enemies. We are your children. We are your brothers. We are your sisters. We are your fathers. We are your mothers. We are your neighbor, your church mate, and your schoolmate. Don't look at us as your enemy. We just want to help with the low knowledge we have. We're not better than you. That's not the point here. We're not better than you.
Right.
But at least we got a little bit of edge. We learned something different that we want to bring to teach you. So we all can do it better together. That's all. That's all we're asking. We're not better than you. We already, if I cut myself, you cut yourself, get the same blood.